Greetings and welcome back to our Standing Watch program. The conflict or the war between Russia and Georgia is still ongoing. In this program today, I'm not going to talk a lot about who actually has caused this war. I discussed all of that in a previous program, which is titled While Georgia Burns, the West Fiddles. And that program has been posted on Google Video and also on the Standing Watch website. In that program, I pointed out clearly that it is Russia who instigated, who provoked that war. But today I'd like to talk about what Russia's true intentions are in the long term and what ramifications this conflict between Russia and Georgia will have for the rest of the world. First, as you have heard, Poland agreed to a pact with the United States of America to have a defense missile shield stationed on Polish soil. Let me read to you the reaction from Russia, which was published in the British tabloid The Sun, dated August 16. Russia threatened to nuke Poland yesterday as the world faced the prospect of a terrifying new Cold War. Another article by the Associated Press, dated August 18, pointed out that the New York Times reported on Sunday that the Russian military moved missile launchers into South Ossetia on Friday. And then here's an article by the Sunday Times on August 17, which stated, Russia is considering arming its Baltic fleet with nuclear warheads for the first time since the Cold War. It went on to say that the Russians have already indicated that they may point nuclear missiles at Western Europe. And so Europe is looking helplessly at what Russia is doing because Europe is not united. Europe is not speaking with one voice, and Europe realizes it. But these events will motivate and prompt Europe to unite. Notice this article by Der Spiegel Online, dated August 18. A German political consensus is not enough to counter the Russians. That would require, at the very least, a united European front, but that does not exist. Now, the French President Sarkozy has stated that if the Lisbon Treaty would have been in force and effect, then Europe could have managed to oppose Russia with one voice. The Bible clearly indicates that Europe is going to unite and that powerful nations, and we hear about them as core nations today in the political field, will then give their voice to one political leader who will then be able to do what is required, at least in the eyes of the Europeans. I have another article here which points out that we shouldn't think that this conflict between Georgia and Russia is limited to that area. As we have said so many times on these programs, we have to keep watching the Middle East. And there are two key players in the Middle East who are close friends of Russia: Iran or Iran and Syria. Now notice this article, which was published in the Associated Press, dated August 19. Iran's official news agency says the country is preparing to build more nuclear power plants. The country is building its first nuclear power plant with the help of Russia. It is expected to go online later this year. Now, what do you think is going to happen if Israel is going to attack Iran because they see that Iran is trying to build up a nuclear weaponry with the attempt and the goal to destroy Israel? Is Russia going to stand idly by when that happens? What is Europe going to do? Here is another article published by Times Online, dated August 20. Syrian President Assad headed to Moscow today to discuss an expansion of his state's military cooperation with Russia. The trip is raising fears that the new Cold War that has erupted in the Caucasus will spill over into the Middle East. And again, the Bible clearly indicates that that's what's going to happen. The Bible even says that in the end time, a confederacy of Russian and other countries will invade the Middle East, and so will Europe. And the goal is to fight against each other in an outright war. This article I quoted from went on to say, Assad said he fully backed Russia's pursuit of its legal interests, quote unquote, in its fight with Georgia. Some Israeli analysts fear that these close ties with Russia could encourage Syria to try to take back the Golan Heights captured by Israel in 1967 by force. Moscow is expected to propose a revival of its Cold War-era naval base at the Syrian port of Tartus on the Mediterranean, with some Russian reports even saying Moscow is already deepening it to accommodate a fleet of warships. That's, my friend, what's going on. This conflict with Georgia was just the beginning of an outright war, which the Bible clearly indicates is going to happen. And you, my friends, need to know what is prophesied. Russia's aggressive intentions will not stop with Georgia. And Europe will realize that they cannot rely on the United States of America or any other country but themselves to meet Russian aggressions. And that is why Europe will unite. That is one of the reasons. But as I said so many times before, the Bible shows us that that is not good news for the world either. We have prepared a booklet which you need to read. It's talking about what is happening, what is going to happen in Europe, what is going to happen in the Middle East, how Russia, how the United States of America will take a part in this development. It is titled Europe in Prophecy. Europe in Prophecy. Do yourself a favor and read it online on standingwatch.org or request a free copy. It is yours free for the asking. So thanks very much for watching. Until next time, this is Norbert Link for the Standing Watch program.